Hung mysteriously disappeared. One morning, Tiuka woke up, but didn't see Hung anywhere. At first, she thought he was busy with work, but by evening, there was still no news. Called, but no one answered the text message. A feeling of unease rose in my heart. She tried to contact Hung's assistant, but only received a cold reply. CEO Hung has left the city. He doesn't want anyone to find him. Tiuka was speechless. Before, no matter how busy he is, he never disappears like that. The next day, the newspapers began to carry the news. CEO Hung was caught. Go with a strange woman abroad. Every word was like a knife cutting into her heart. Is this true or just an act? Hung's father took action not long after Hung's father came to see her. He sat down, looked at her with calm but authoritative eyes. I warned you before. A person like you is not worthy of my son. Tiuka clenched his hands, his voice trembling. Hung is not that kind of person. What did you do to him? Father laughed coldly. Hung has a new life now. You should forget it. He placed a lightning bolt in front of her. This is enough money for her to live comfortably. Leave this city. Tiuka looked at the money, tears welling up in her eyes. Not because she needed money, but because of Father Hung's cruelty. She pushed the lightning down on the table with a determined look in her eyes. I don't need money, I just need him. Father's lips curled, his eyes cold. She will change her mind soon. Ex-husband returns, nightmare begins. As if things weren't bad enough, Xiao Ka's ex-husband reappears. He looks more handsome now, but the essence remains unchanged. The first day we met again, he threw a stack of debt papers on the table. Smirk. I heard you lost your support. If you don't want to be evicted, pay up. Xiao Ka squeezed my hand tightly. I don't owe you anything. Ex-husband shrugged. It's true that you don't owe me, but your mother does. If you don't pay, I will take Tiu Han away. Those words made Tiuka fall into the abyss. She has no hero by her side. No one protects her. And now, her son became a hostage in the hands of the bad guys. Can Hung come back? Has Hung really disappeared, or is he being held somewhere? Can Tiuka overcome this adversity and find out the truth? The story still has many mysteries yet to be revealed. Xiao Ka fights for Xiao Han. Tiuka knows she cannot submit to her ex-husband. She was tired of his manipulation. But if she doesn't pay, she will lose Tiu Han. Looking at son sleeping soundly on small bed, her heart ached. She has only 3 days to earn that money. But how? Xiao Ka went to borrow money, but the door did not open. Tiuka sought out old acquaintances hoping to borrow money. But sorry, I am also struggling. $2,000 is not a small amount of money. I can't help. She is desperate. For the first time in her life, she felt so small. Suddenly, she remembered the hero. If you were here, definitely will not let her fall into this situation. But did he really leave her? secret revealed clue about Hero. When Tiuka was almost in despair, something unexpected happened. She accidentally heard the conversation between ex-husband and mother-in-law. If this gets out, it will be very dangerous. Don't worry, Hung's father has arranged everything. Hung will not be able to come back anymore. Little Ka's heart beats fast. Turns out it was all an act. Hung did not leave her, but he was forced. But where are you? If she doesn't find him, she might lose everything. Tiuka finds clues about Hung. Tiuka clenched her fists, trying to control her emotions. She knew she couldn't act rashly. If Father Hung and his ex-husband staged this drama, surely they will not make it easy for her to find Hung. But she couldn't stand still waiting. She must find out the truth herself. The mysterious assistant. Tiuka remembers a close assistant of Hung. If anyone knows anything, it's him. She immediately went to Hung's company. When I see her, all the staff were surprised, but no one dared to speak up. Luckily, she met Fong, but his eyes were full of caution. What are you doing here? I want to know where Hung is. She looked straight into his eyes without blinking. Fong avoided the cold voice. I didn't know CEO Hung had gone abroad. Zhao Ka smiled faintly. Don't lie to me, I know he's not going anywhere. You can say no, but I will not stop. Fong paused with a hesitant look on his face. He looked around and said softly, Okay, but you have to be careful. Where is Hung imprisoned? Fong gave Tiuka an address. I can only say this much. Please be careful. Tiuka held the piece of paper tightly in her heart, full of worry. Is this where Hung is being held? If so, what will she face? But she had no other choice. She will save him at all costs. Zhao Ka rushed into the tiger's den. Tiuka standing in front of a villa, deep in the suburbs. The huge building was heavily guarded. She clenched the piece of paper in her hand with the address Fong had given her. Is Hung in there? Her heart was pounding. She knew she couldn't just rush in blindly. She must have a plan. Sneaked into the villa, she walked around the villa looking for loopholes. After a while of observing, she found an unguarded back door. She held her breath as she walked down the path and gently opened the door. Luckily, it's not locked. She tiptoed inside. Long hallway. Pale yellow light fell on the cold stone floor. The sound of shoes clattering in the distance. She quickly hid in a corner, her heart beating fast. Two men in suits walked past, low voices. The boss told him to keep a close eye on him. He doesn't seem to be giving up. Tiuka held his breath, and they were talking about Hung. She waited for them to go away, and then continued moving. Suddenly, she heard a familiar sound. Deep but tired voice. I will not do as you say. She trembled. Hung. Seeing Hung again, she quickly ran to the room where the voice came from. Through the door, she saw Hung. He was sitting on the chair, his hands tied and his face pale. Hung's father stood in front of him with a cold face. You may hate me, but I do it for your own good. Hung sneered. Good for you by keeping you in prison, why Father squinted. I can't be with Tiu Ka, she's not worthy. Tiu Ka heard and felt pain. She took a deep breath and pushed the door open. He has no right to decide who deserves who. Both men turned around in shock. Hung opened his eyes wide. Little Ka, Hung's father frowned. Why are you here? Xiao Ka doesn't care. She rushed to untie Hung with all her might. Hung looked at her with eyes filled with so many emotions. What are you doing here if they find out? She looked straight into his eyes and said she had come to take him away. Hung smiled softly and unconsciously squeezed her hand. Let's go together. The angry father shouted that no one was allowed to leave here. Can they escape from this place? The thrilling escape. Hung's father gritted his teeth and ordered them to be captured. Immediately, 2 bodyguards rushed over. Hung quickly pulled Tiu Ka behind, then used all his strength to kick one of them, make him stagger. But the other guy quickly swung his fist at him. Tiu Ka was startled, but Hung quickly avoided it. He turned around and kicked him hard in the leg, causing him to fall down. Run away, Hung grabbed her hand and pulled her out of the room. Tiu Ka did not dare to turn back. 2 people running down a long hallway. Behind was the angry shout of Father Hung. Escape, they rushed towards the back door. But as soon as he arrived, another bodyguard blocked him. Tiu Ka bit her lip, her heart was beating wildly. Hung looked around and pulled her back. He suddenly saw a window jump out. What she opened her eyes wide, his name, no other choice. Hung used all his strength to break the glass door, then quickly climbed out. He bent down and held out his hand to Tiu Ka. Quick! Tiu Ka took a deep breath, then grabbed his hand and jumped down. As soon as they landed, they immediately ran towards the small gate. Fong is waiting outside in the car. Hurry up. Hung pulled Tiu Ka into the car. Fong stepped on the gas and the car sped away, leaving behind. Behind was the angry shout of Father Hung. Tiu Ka gasped, unable to believe they had escaped. Hung squeezed her hand and apologized for making her suffer. She looked at him with eyes glistening with tears. I don't need anything, just you safe. Hung hugged her and whispered, from now on, I will not let anyone separate us anymore. But will Father Hung give up easily? Or the storm is not really over?